And now for a Next News special report.
In a stunning turn of events, the Texas Senate Committee on State Affairs has taken a bold stand against big tech's alleged election meddling. Explosive testimony from whistleblowers has exposed a disturbing pattern of partisan bias, with Democrats receiving a staggering 2.5 times more voting reminders than Republicans. As the election of 2024 looms, the question on everyone's mind is, will big tech's favoritism tip the scales and undermine the integrity of our democratic process? Now, friends, as we delve into the critical issue of big tech's influence on our election, we face the urgent task of preserving our democracy's integrity, our republic. Whistleblowers have bravely exposed potential bias, and now we must unite to ensure every voice is heard and every vote counts. By supporting our mission at the Next News Network, you become a crucial part of the fight for transparency and fairness. Visit the Give, Send, Go link below to see how you can help us continue this essential work and share this vital report. Together, we can make a significant impact. Now, in a groundbreaking hearing on the election security, the Texas Senate Committee on State Affairs was presented with explosive revelations from tech industry whistleblowers and experts. Dr. Robert Epstein, a renowned researcher, unveiled startling findings from the TechWatch project, which monitors the online activities of over 14,000 registered voters across all 50 states. Listen to this portion of the testimony.
The research basis for this, because people can debate, the bias being sent to liberals, moderates, and conservatives, but when you see a data point where Google is sending register to vote reminders to one party at 2.5 times greater than the other party, that statistically is way past 1 sigma, and that is obviously a clear point of bias. If you would elaborate, anybody else can add to this. I'm curious on this. I just want to know what the statistical basis for it is.
Let me just go back a little bit in time, first of all, to 2022, because in 2022, we had several thousand field agents located mainly in just a few swing states. And in Florida, which was one of them, all day long on election day, Democrats were getting go vote reminders on Google's homepage, which is seen 500 million times a day just in the United States. Only 59% of Republicans were getting go vote reminders on that day. That is a blatant and extremely, extremely powerful vote manipulation. So what we're doing now, what we're seeing nationwide, is this 2.5 times as many registered to vote reminders going to Democrats than to Republicans. Now think ahead a little bit. That's going to turn into partisan mail in your ballot reminders. And then that's going to turn into partisan go vote reminders. The net impact of those 3 manipulations is staggering.
No, I agree with, because I just want to understand. So there was a clear bias that you saw on GOTV, okay, which is notices going to one party at a much higher rate than the other in Florida. And again, I'm just trying to get a statistical basis where that sample of 2.5 is it in the states you're monitoring? Is it in Florida? Is it in Texas?
Because we're getting data 24 hours a day now from the computers of a politically balanced group of more than 14,500 registered voters in all 50 states. And that's where we're getting those data from. We're getting a tremendous amount of data from those people 24 hours a day.
And how long has this 2.5 times the rate trend been going for?
That started at roughly beginning of January. It was a trickle at first, and that's gotten larger now. And at some point, it's going to shift over, and we're going to start to see partisan mail-in-your-ballot reminders.
Well, yeah, because you have 3 steps. You have a registration step, and then you have an absentee ballot step, and then you have a go vote step. And you're expecting that shifts to occur, right?
Well, we know this from published data published by Facebook with some of my colleagues at the University of California, San Diego. We know that in 2010, Facebook sent go vote reminders on election day in 2010, the midterm, to 60 million of its users. And they calculated very cleverly that caused 340,000 more people to vote that day who otherwise would have stayed home on their sofas. So we know exactly what the impact is going to be of these reminders, and so does Google.
And Mr. Chairman, I would just say that if you have a sample group of 14,500 nationwide, that is a substantial group. And a 2.5 times rate is way past one segment. I'll do the math here in a little bit, but it shows, very significant and methodical bias, actually.
Make sure you go to techwatchproject.org to learn all the information. Now, the data showed that in the lead up to the election, Democrats were receiving voting reminders from Google at a rate of 2.5 times higher than Republicans. This partisan disparity in voter outreach has the potential to drastically impact turnout and sway election results, just as Facebook's selective Go Vote reminders did in the 2010 midterms. Now, Google whistleblower Zach Voorhees, he alleged rampant censorship targeting conservative outlets, specifically singling out our own Next News network, which has been demonetized for over a year. Watch this.
Let's talk about news ranking. News sites that supported Democrats were ranked with the highest quality and trustworthiness. Here's a partial list. Wall Street Journal, 8.53. CBS News, 6.57. CNN, 6.0. Fox News, 5.2. Russia Today, 4.57. The Young Turks, 2.53. Alex Jones Network, negative 1.56. At the bottom of the list is Next News Network at negative 3.35. Let me reiterate, the foreign propaganda outlet Russia Today was scored 7 points higher than the Next News Network, one of the top YouTube news networks in America. Since my disclosure, Next News Network has been permanently demonetized and will soon be bankrupted. These sound more like the actions we'd expect from a Russian propaganda complex. But shockingly, it's the actions of Google.
God bless you, Zach. Now, Voorhees revealed that Google's news ranking system placed Democrat-supporting sites at the top, while conservative outlets like our own, the Next News Network, were relegated to the bottom, even below foreign propaganda outlets like Russia Today. This blatant suppression of right-leaning content raises serious concerns about Google's influence on public opinion and electoral outcomes. And Voorhees went a step further, calling for specific subpoenas to expose Google and YouTube's clandestine operations. Watch.
What recommendations would you have for this legislature to take action to address the issues you address?
My recommendation is subpoenas would be filed against Google for any documents that have the name blacklist.txt related to Google, YouTube, and their news search corpuses. I would also ask that you subpoena their documents related to rankings of media outlets. I've provided a supplemental showing a slide deck including such a list. That is 4 years old. It's a bit dated. The open question now is, what are the updated rankings of the media outlets that they have? Also, machine learning fairness is so huge. I don't even know how you would even swallow that. But if you could do, ask them, file a subpoena, ask them for documents related to machine learning fairness. And that is going to be such a huge bombshell that it just needs to get into the public disclosure. So it's those three things: machine learning fairness, blacklists, and their media rankings is the start of the entire. What might be a really cheap way to get at this information is to ask what the decision process was for demonetizing Next News Network, right? Like, they're very large, and if you can get that information related to that case, I think that that's going to sort of illuminate what their decision-making processes were for that demonetization. Like, they're still demonetized. They've been demonetized for like 6 months, like the top conservative news network on YouTube. And the question is, why did they get demonetized? And if we have the answer to that, we're going to get the answers to a whole bunch of other censorship activities with the company.
As you saw, he urged the committee to request documents related to blacklists, skewed media rankings, and the controversial machine learning fairness program. He also suggested investigating the decision process behind our YouTube channel's The Next News Network's demonetization, believing it could shed light on Google's broader censorship activities. Faced with this mounting evidence, the Texas Senate Committee took decisive action. In a unanimous vote, the committee authorized the issuance of subpoenas to big tech firms like Google and Facebook. Now, these subpoenas aim to uncover the full extent of the alleged bias and election interference, demanding access to crucial documents and internal communications. So as the 2024 election approaches, the implications of big tech's partisan bias and potential election meddling cannot be overstated. The integrity of our democratic process hangs in the balance, and the testimony of these brave whistleblowers serves as a wake-up call to all Americans. It is now more important than ever to support independent media outlets like the Next News Network, which have been unfairly targeted and suppressed by these tech giants. By sharing this vital report and donating to our cause, you can help ensure that the truth continues to be told and that the voices of conservatives are not silenced. The Texas Senate Committee's actions represent a critical first step in holding big tech accountable and safeguarding the fairness of our elections. But the fight is far from over. We must remain vigilant, informed, and engaged if we hope to preserve the integrity of our republic. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. The revelations from the Texas Senate hearing are a reminder of the looming threat big tech poses to our elections. As concerned citizens, we must rally behind initiatives like the Tech Watch Project, which is bravely leading the charge against this partisan manipulation. By filing an FEC complaint against Google and providing crucial data to support legislation in every state, they are fighting to ensure a fair and unbiased democratic process. We must stand with them to protect the integrity of the 2024 election and beyond. The future of our republic depends on it.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.